President Trump's 25% tariffs on cars imported to the U.S. officially taking effect today. Automakers responding to the new levies. Volkswagen planning to add import fees to the sticker prices of its vehicles shipped into the U.S. Meantime, Stellantis pausing production at some plants in Canada and Mexico. And Ford benefiting from its larger than average inventory, announcing discounts for customers. Joining us now to break it all down, Diana Lee, Constellation's CEO. Diana, great to speak with you. Just ran through a lot of the impact we're seeing on individual names, which I know you follow very closely in your role. Talk to me about who is best positioned amid this moment.
So I think the most interesting part about all this is just because tariffs are actually announced as of today, it's not like it's going to get affected immediately. So what I mean by this is there's a lot of cars being imported right now into the US. Those vehicles were ordered over 2-3 months ago by the distributors and the manufacturers. So even though they're coming in, it's not like those vehicles, they can go back to the original distributors and say, hey, you're gonna get a tariff today on those vehicles. So how the impact is really gonna happen is truly 2-3 months from now. Because as those orders are happening as of today, the tariffs will actually be a part of the pricing. There are some manufacturers like Hyundai that said that they're gonna actually eat the tariffs. The most interesting part about this is even if they eat the tariffs, offers are gone for new vehicles. You can't eat the tariffs and actually have a 2.9, a 4.9, or incentives on these vehicles. So if offers all go away, the prices of every vehicle, even if they eat the tariffs, will still be higher. So there won't be any incentives. Yeah. Supply will also be a factor because people are trying to figure out where to actually distribute the vehicles to actually have lower tariffs. But what people don't understand is based on the parts of every single car. So even Tesla and Rivian, who actually make all their vehicles here in the United States, will still have tariffs on the imported parts. Tesla has imported parts coming in from China. They have gone to the U.S. Trade Administration to ask for an exclusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you anticipate any of those exclusions, any negotiations moving forward?
Yes, there's negotiations all happening in the background. And the frightening part of this during the negotiations is some of the OEMs are basically saying they won't actually supply the US any vehicles. Right. Now what happens then? It then would mean that US would actually lose jobs, because you wouldn't have jobs here in the United States with all these automakers actually, whether they distribute as they distribute into the US, there's a lot of US citizens that work for many of the auto manufacturers. So if they start laying off because of the fact that they can't distribute supply here, then it will affect jobs in the United States.
So the expectation is the average life of a car on the road will just go up?
Exactly. Yeah. So all new vehicles coming in the next 2 months will start actually climbing. And then the vehicles here will also be more expensive because right now we're at an all-time high of car sales because people know the tariffs are happening. So March was an amazing month. April will continue because all used vehicles, people are going to try to get those vehicles, and new vehicles that are currently on the ground will not have the tariffs and currently have incentives.
Pulling forward that demand. Will we wake up in a moment when the car companies will just not be offering some of the names that we're used to, some of the models that we're used to?
Exactly. So what's going to end up happening is the cars that are more expensive to make because of the supply disruption, they will not make those vehicles anymore. Those models will start going away. And then the frightening part is some of the OEMs are basically saying they won't actually give any supply. Well, if that happens, we will go bankrupt here in the US for those automakers, and all those jobs will be eliminated.
For consumers who are really concerned about the price hikes that are going to be happening here,
sure.
What is your advice to them? Is there any specific model out there that is most likely to have the smallest price increase?
Yes, so amusingly, obviously, it will be Tesla. Tesla will be the winner in all this. And that's also scary to me because there's 25 traditional automakers that have all funded the US American economy. And so from there, because parts are also more expensive, the consumers would actually have to pay for servicing of the vehicles at a higher rate as well. So anything to do with auto will end up going up. Hyundai has announced that they're actually advertising vehicles on Amazon, but that's at MSRP. And so as it's at MSRP, there are no discounts. Discounts are going to disappear on vehicles right now because short on supply, no offer and incentives. It's exactly like COVID years coming back. COVID, no supply of new vehicles, right?
Right.
No incentives on cars. That's going to happen again.
I do want to ask too, on a stock market level, it's interesting, we're seeing Goodyear ripping this morning. The stock was up as much as 17% earlier, now it's up about 10%, and you can see that on your screen here with our Yahoo Finance platform and our tools there. Diana, what does that move tell you about where there is opportunity for investors right now, and then of course the end impact to consumers?
Yeah, so parts that are assembled here in this country will definitely be a winner. As supply chains are all changing right now, it may come out that there are announcements like Hyundai saying that they're going to put investments here in this country and start building plants. And so there's going to be winners and losers based on who is actually producing all parts and all auto products here in the United States. That's really what's happening. And there's a lot of background conversation right now with President Trump in terms of negotiating future rates of actually producing things here in the country to avoid the tariffs right now.
Diana, thank you so much. Come back soon. Really appreciate your insights.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.